You know, sometimes when you look in the mirror, there is this person that looks back at you. And for a split second, you wonder, who is that person? But then your brain sort of figures it out and it goes like, oh yeah, that's me. That's who I'm seeing. But did you ever stop to wonder, who is that person really? So in this video, I wanted to share some thoughts about the biggest mystery ever, the identity within yourself. By the way, you're really amazing for clicking on this video. Thank you. Now, as complex as the world is today, with the internet and all of our tech devices, I think that the biggest complexity is still within our mind. Like, just think of any idea you had recently. Did you notice that you didn't decide to have that idea? It just sort of spontaneously popped up. But if you didn't decide to have it, who did? Now, believe it or not, but I actually don't spend a lot of time doing self-reflection because it can get kind of scary looking deep within. But when I do, when I look in the mirror and I ask questions like, who is this guy really? Is it the person that people see? Somebody who looks kind of funny and kind, but is that the real me? Does that face, does that voice truly represent my inner self? And what is the difference between the real me and the person that people see? A couple of years ago, I tried deep meditation and I had a very unreal experience. Then I tried it again last year and I had pretty much the same experience. When you meditate for a long period of time, and for me it's about an hour, you start to sort of separate yourself from your thoughts and your ideas. And that's when I discovered that I'm actually not my thoughts. It's just a part of the brain that's always thinking. The real me is more of an observer, and the other part is more like the driver. For some reason, I don't identify with the driver because sometimes the driver is making me feel bad. It makes me feel guilty, or it reminds me how terrible I am and so forth. But the driver does often come up with great ideas though, and I never run out of ideas for videos, even this video. But it can be a struggle sometimes, and as much as I need the driver, I also need to control it. Because if I didn't, I would probably just sit and slowly starve to death. Now, the passenger, that is someone who I truly identify with. It's sort of the part of the brain that has the empathy, the compassion, and sort of prefers a relaxed and peaceful state. That's more me. So I look at it like this. The body is like a taxi and the driver takes me, the passenger, wherever I need to go. But sometimes the driver can get a bit chatty, right? So it can take me to the wrong location. And that's why we have to sort of act as a manager over the taxi. I believe that it's important to have balance. And so I think of two tools when it comes to maintaining that good balance in our head. The first one being meditation, which is very hard. Like, in case you haven't tried it, it's very, very difficult. You have to sit down and do the most difficult thing ever, basically not to think. And the driver hates meditation, and it will do anything it can to sort of keep me from doing it. Because in meditation, your goal is basically to stop listening to the driver. So it's understandable that it's acting in self-preservation. But what it doesn't understand is that meditation actually leads to a healthier mindset. Your mind becomes calm no matter how much your driver is jumping all over the place. You get better at handling that part of yourself. You get less doubt, you get less sadness and anger, but meditation is no pickle. I've been doing it on and off for several years. While most experts say you have to do it every single day in order for it to be effective, I actually find it quite helpful to do it from time to time. And it becomes sort of this factory reset for me. I return to a mind that's calm. The second thing I find helpful is to journal your thoughts somehow. I personally use notes on my computer and often on my smartphone. Sometimes the thoughts are a bit complex, so I write them down on a real physical notebook, which I know sounds crazy. But writing down your thoughts can be a very offloading experience, and it also gives you perspective of your own ideas. And what I write down is often ideas that the driver has. My driver gives me lots and lots of ideas, and sometimes it's a bit too much, and so I think I need to write it down to get structure, so I can sort of easily decide which ideas are actually worth doing. Getting control over your head is not easy, and it's not supposed to be. But I think that with a bit of exercise and work, we can learn to work with our mind and not against it. Now, this is not something that you accomplish once and then you're done for life. It's more of a lifelong practice. As we develop, as we get more experienced, we constantly have to work to achieve a life of purpose and dedication. Anyway, thanks for listening, and hope this video gave you something interesting to think about. If not, ask your driver. Bye.